Tamra Judge has never been one to tiptoe around drama. If there's gasoline on the floor, she's the first to flick a match. And then somehow she's also the first one ducking out the fire escape while everyone else is coughing in the smoke. But over the years, the Real Housewives of Orange County cast has wised up to her playbook. These women have survived too many tequila fights, dinner table meltdowns, and broken glass confessions to keep falling for the same tricks. And now, what we're watching unfold feels less like a wine-soaked vacation and more like a slow-burning battle royale. Katie Janela may have already been taken out of the game, reduced to nothing more than a tagline mentioned this week after her disastrous lie detector fiasco. But if she was a practice round, then Temecula is where the main boss level begins. Because when Tamra gathers Shannon Beador, Gina Kirschenheiter, and Jen Pedranti for a girls' getaway to wine country under the shiny banner of Apology Tour, it's not just a road trip, it's a test of who's willing to fall for the olive branch and who's ready to snap it in half. Right out of the gate, Tamra plays her usual double-faced hand, telling Shannon she wants to reconnect, buying her a friendship gift that turns out to be a passive-aggressive self-help book titled How Not to Be a Miserable Cow, while also gleefully telling Emily behind Shannon's back that when she invited her, Shannon looked like a hot mess, with hair sticking up and boobs spilling out. Classic Tamra, extend one hand for a hug while the other's already writing the hit piece. And to her credit, this is why Tamra remains the blueprint of a real housewife. She knows how to stay messy, she knows how to keep the cameras rolling, and she knows how to dance that fine line between villain and victim. But what's shifting now is that her castmates aren't letting her run the game unchecked anymore. Once upon a time, Tamra could toss a grenade into the group, sit back, and watch everyone else fight. This season, Gina, Jen, Shannon, and even Heather are sharper, more suspicious, and ready to flip the script the second she slips. Still, Temecula begins with the illusion of peace. Shannon shows up with not one, but two giant suitcases for a single night. One filled with her actual belongings and one dedicated solely to kitchenware, like muffin tins, blenders, and spices. Because of course Shannon would bring half of Williams-Sonoma to a vacation rental. Even Gina can't hold back from calling Shannon a feral animal in her confessional, marveling at how her brain just works differently. But instead of this being the red flag it should have been, everyone chalks it up to classic Shannon antics and moves forward. The group's motorbike and sidecar ride to the vineyards is chaotic, with Shannon yelling about snot flying out of her nose and Jen ducking in case it actually makes its way back toward her. It's funny, it's weird, it's Housewives gold. By the time they're sitting down at the winery sipping glasses of Temecula's finest, it almost feels like this might actually be one of those rare, fun, silly trips without a major blow-up. But of course, that's never how Housewives works. Tamra doesn't just stir the pot, she brings the pot, dumps in chili powder, then throws the whole thing in someone's lap just to see if they'll scream. The friendship gift to Shannon, that big-lettered self-help book, is proof enough. Tamra swears it's a joke, but her daughter Sophia already clocked it as pure shade, calling it passive-aggressive and pointing out the message is basically, you're miserable and blind, so here's something for you. Shannon might not blow up right away, but it sets the tone. Every move Tamra makes this trip is going to be under a microscope. And the microscope zooms in fast once the infamous fatty photo resurfaces. Gina, who originally coined the phrase, tries to spin it onto Heather, once again claiming that Heather dubbed it the fatty photo, when really, it was Gina herself. Heather, savvy as ever, deflects with a carefully phrased line. It's not like she was fat or anything. Heather knows optics, and she knows words can come back to haunt you, especially when Bravo is sitting on years of receipts. This moment isn't just about body-shaming drama, it's about trust, power, and how easily alliances can fracture when past shade resurfaces. Gina's gamble is risky. This season, she's been building her partnership with Emily into an unshakable duo, branding themselves as the impenetrable truth-tellers of the group, but trying to pit Heather against Tamra. Two women who may bicker but always circle back as allies might be her undoing. Housewives history has proven time and again, underestimating Heather Dubrow's ability to play the long game is a rookie mistake. Meanwhile, Emily's working her own angle. She flat out tells Heather she thinks she's scared of Tamra, pointing to the way Heather avoids direct confrontation. But Heather quickly reminds us she's the one who went toe-to-toe with Tamra during the infamous New Orleans meltdown, while Emily and Gina were the ones quietly licking Tamra's boots to stay safe. So, is Heather scared? Or is she just strategically keeping Tamra close as an accomplice? In Housewives, friendships aren't about warm fuzzies. They're about power distribution, about forming alliances that give you cover when the heat turns up. Heather and Tamra know they're stronger as a two-headed dragon than as solo players. And while Gina and Emily think they've mastered that same formula, their wings might already be singeing from flying too close to the sun. By dinner, the whole facade comes crashing down. Tamra, worn thin from juggling fake peace offerings with old grudges, finally cracks. When Jen presses her for more accountability, Tamra launches into a desperate squeal. "What else do you want me to say? I said I'm sorry. Do you want blood?" It's peak Tamra. Dramatic, theatrical, and just unhinged enough to remind everyone why she's reality TV gold. But the outburst also cracks Shannon's carefully managed shell. For hours, she's been biting her tongue, letting Tamra play leader of the trip. Now, she erupts. "You don't want to take accountability, Tamra. You go low when you're mad. You always go low. And we're all supposed to accept that because it's just who you are." It's a cutting statement, one that suggests Shannon isn't actually ready to forgive and forget. And in true Housewives fashion, just as Tamra looks like she's about to be crushed under a full table pylon, she pivots, throwing Gina under the bus by reminding Shannon that Gina has openly questioned her drinking in the past. Within seconds, the spotlight shifts, and suddenly a potential new feud, Gina versus Shannon, is sparking in the background. That's Tamra's survival skill in a nutshell. If you're going down, drag someone else with you. And as all this is imploding in Temecula, Heather Dubrow is having her own surreal Housewives subplot across town. Her penthouse sleepover with Emily and Gretchen is pure satire. Princess canopy beds, a sleepover consultant, and even a butler named Nate to cater to their every bedtime need. It's over the top even by Heather standards. And yet it delivers one of the funniest meta moments of the season. A totally not staged paparazzi encounter on Rodeo Drive, where a random photographer assures Heather she didn't call him. Heather, who failed a polygraph about calling the paparazzi just 1 week ago, crows about being vindicated, while Emily and Gretchen openly wonder if the guy was a hired actor. Given Heather's side hobby of taking improv classes with the groundlings, the theory doesn't seem that far-fetched. This is Housewives at its most self-aware. Everyone knows the game, everyone's winking at the cameras, and yet the drama still feels deliciously real. By the time credits roll, the Temecula trip is in shambles. Tamra's apology tour has derailed into another battlefield. Shannon's trust remains fractured, Gina's stirring has backfired. Emily's manipulations haven't quite stuck, and Heather's still too busy fighting the ghost of a paparazzo to care. The central question isn't whether these women will make up. They always do, at least temporarily. The question is, who will be standing when the dust settles, and who's about to be left on the cutting room floor of Bravo's editing bay? Because if there's one thing this week proved, it's that in the wicked world of Housewives, survival isn't about being right. It's about staying one step ahead of your enemies. And Tamra Judge, for all her chaos and contradictions, still knows how to survive a fire, even if she's the one who lit the match in the first place.